Hello everyone, and welcome to the 9th episode of Pokemon A to Z, hosted on the esteemed Mancini the Amazing channel, home of that one game of the World Cup that I watched last night. And here with me is an incredible guest, just as much of a champion player as the Matildas will be in this tournament, I am sure. Please everyone, say hello.
Raymond.
Yep.
Thank you for that glowing introduction.
So yes, our lovely co-host Raymond here, and as we, see if the Double Time Champ can take us through the Pokemon A to Z series. So today we have Arcanine, one of the Pokemon of this format. Or more so of previous formats when the other one didn't exist. And eventually I'll get there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Wigglytuff. You can't spell Wigglytuff without GG. Now, I believe that you said you were an esteemed expert on Wigglytuff, so we'll focus on that when we get to it. But what are your general thoughts on Arcanine?
I think Arcanine is... first of all, for some background, I've played Draft for a few years. I've not played beyond a few weeks of Ladder. So, Draft perspective, Arcanine's amazing. I can't imagine there's too much work on Ladder. So, it's not insane, but it is a solid Intimidator. It's got Snarl to shut down special attackers, Lotus to shut down physical attackers. It's decently bulky, decently offensive. It's just a good mon that's, always on the borders of being competitively dominant or viable.
Absolutely. It's got a very good sort of offensive presence in the format. It synergizes really well with a lot of key players in this format, because a lot of them do really appreciate Intimidate support. Because there are a lot of Pokemon which are somewhat bulky, but with that Intimidate support, and often with the Will-O-Wisp support as well, go from being somewhat bulky to being able to take like 3 decent hits, and being able to get 4 moves off instead of 3 is a pretty big increase in damage, especially when Arcanine isn't a slouch itself, with either 110 attack if you're running like the Flare Blitz E-Speed sort of set, or 100 special attack if you're running like a Snarl variant, potentially with, we've seen Howl as a strong support move. Obviously it does have access to Morning Sun, and we have seen that see some tournament play. It's got really interesting options for coverage. Play Rough, Psychic Fangs, Wild Charge is a pretty decent one, as well as Close Combat, and Bulldoze does have some support utility. And then you combine that also with an okay special move pool, mostly comprising of like the Fire Stab and what's it? Snarl is down here. Yes, Snarl.
Yeah. If you end up going that special route, you can maybe do like a jetpack overheat kind of thing, so you can double intimidate yourself in a battle, something like that.
Sure, there's definitely options like that.
Not sure how common that one is on the ladder, but it's something that exists for sure.
You can run a lot of different sets. I know that Mirror Herb maybe is a little bit more common to take advantage of Intimidate if you're running against Pokemon with Defiant. Though maybe in this format there's a few more competitive Pokemon, and then you're a little bit more reticent to attempt that. It got this unique move, Raging Fury, which is Outrage, but Fire type. Or is Flare Blitz.
Can't imagine that one's too common.
I'm sure someone's going to run it against me in Draft League, and I am going to cry. So yeah, very powerful Pokemon. 110, 100, very good on a defensive Pokemon. 90, 80, 80 feels incredibly good when you're pairing it with Intimidate, Wisp, Snarl, and potentially other forms of damage mitigation. Yeah, generally a pretty all-around solid Pokemon. And now, as the expert, why don't you take us through... Oh yeah, also, you can do Justified Beat Up, and in Draft, sometimes Flash Fire makes sense. Now, why don't you take us through Wigglytuff?
But from a very viable mon to a mon that is beloved by the fan base, and
Yep.
I'm sure has something else going for it. This is Wigglytuff.
Yep.
It's an early gen normal type, so it's got some pretty crazy coverage. It's
Yep.
got some good abilities, competitive and frisk, especially competitive. It's got a good to great typing, at least just being a fairy type with some little things added onto it. And then you get to the less fortunate side of its stat spread. Sometimes you can get that +2 when you come in with competitive. You can get that great move. You have super effective coverage to half the metagame, and you just don't go first, and you don't live hits because of that move pool. So that's something I think is going to be challenging, is finding how we're gonna use these abilities and use this move pool and overcome the stat spread.
I have an idea.
You have an idea?
You can see it on my screen.
Perhaps not for Selena.
Look, I'm just saying, it's an idea. We have Intimidate AOAs, but it is slower than Ursaluna. It's slower than a few of the spookier Pokemon in this format. But it is maybe a bit reliant on getting that competitive boost to do much of anything. And then beyond that, it's got some random support moves as well. Obviously, Helping Hand is something it can take a lot of advantage of, and then Heal Pulse it can sometimes take advantage of, because it is somewhat tanky with its absurdly huge HP stat. You can get a lot out of investing directly in its defenses to make it live stuff. Like, I don't think it's got really the speed tier to run Encore Disable. I think you generally want to be sub 30 or over 100.
Yeah. Sometimes it can Perish Song as well, which kind of goes with our Intimidate vibe here, but I don't know if that's really viable in this current meta. Pretty
Perish Song
offensive from what I
can
hear.
clean up a late game, maybe, where you want to have Wigglytuff on the field, and then have them focusing down. Say you're up at 3 Pokemon while they're at 2. Maybe you can get through that. You can skill swap its ability to another Pokemon, just in case you don't want them anymore. It's got Thunder Wave.
With it.
But yes,
It's
the
got
fact
Thunder Wave and Icy Wind, it's got Charm,
for sure.
but it's hard to do that when you're going second.
45 speed is a rough for Icy Wind. Maybe a bit better back in Gen 6 when we didn't have that, Gen 7 as well, when we didn't have dynamic speed changes, but maybe not so much in the current gen, when a lot of that speed difference is immediate. And doesn't have access to Trick Room. I think this Pokemon would be much better if it had access to Trick Room.
Yeah, it'd be significantly better.
A lot of
It's
other...
got that rainbow covered, and like you were saying, Grass Knot, but even just, if we end up running just a few moves, Ice Beam is able to hit our Saluna and all the genies of healthy meta. So,
Yeah, it is definitely not unusable in terms of damage. It's a lot weaker into Ursaluna than the 120 base power, but yeah, Ice Beam. Dazzling Gleam isn't terrible because it hits both the Urshifu's as well as it probably does like 2% Iron Hands, which is about as much as you need, right?
I'm sure you can chip it down over like 50 turns.
Exactly.
It does not have Moonblast, which is unfortunate. I checked that a few times when I had it in draft.
Yes, no Moonblast, but it does have Play Rough of its 70 attack stat, which is great if you want to run. Oh, would you look at that? It doesn't have Belly Drum. No Sword Stance either. No Bulk Up, and no Work Up either. Bit rough.
We're either in special competitive, or maybe we try and make this work for some kind of a weird utility.
Parasong, Helping Hand.
Thing.
No Alice Switch in this format as well. Which is a good thing, because I don't think Alice Switch is super healthy, but does limit its ability to be like this weird disruptive mon. So yeah.
We give Ally Switch to some very bad mons.
I mean, I don't think that I necessarily want them to.
Yeah, maybe no Ally Switch is the move.
I'm fine with Alice Switch's current limited distribution. I don't know if any of the new Pokemon have it. The newest Pokemon that has it is Iron Leaves, which is not legal in this format. Oh no, Cresselia, of course. Great. Well, luckily Cresselia, I think, is going to struggle to fit it.
Yeah,
so
not too many good Ally Switch users right now.
It feels like we have like 2 pretty solid support mons. What do you think is kind of like the shell that we want to get around this?
So you can tell me which one of these would make more sense in the current meta. I think I actually have two. I do have two kind of thoughts.
Okay.
So first of all, Wigglytuff, we have competitive. I think first con ladders are a good bit less useful than it is in draft. If we're trying to bait out, it's kind of the idea that my last drop has been around when I had Wigglytuff. If we want to bait out Intimidates, what's the best way to bait out Intimidates? Run a lot of physical attackers. Arcanine is a kind of Dragonite at home. It has extreme speed. We could try and run a physical team, possibly with Chien-Pao, and have Wigglytuff to punish those Intimidators. And then the second idea is something we just talked about for a little bit. Perish Song with Intimidate can slow down the attackers a little bit. Perish Song goes well, or Intimidate goes well, switching back and forth a lot. We can try and make a Perish Song Intimidate spam team.
I think you need the damage, so maybe we start with this and then try and convert it into Perish Trap. Maybe by chucking like a Goth and then maybe like a more mid-rangey support option as well.
Yeah, that could be interesting. Yeah, they got double competitive. They're not going nowhere.
Definitely running Shadow Tag.
Let's run Shadow Tag on the Perish Song team. That sounds good.
Definitely my thought process there is, oh, Shadow Tag is helpful.
We can see how much we can fit. If we want to try and combine the two ideas on the one team,
maybe something
or
like
if
this.
we just want to commit to the Chien-Pao idea. Because Chien-Pao does support both of these mons decently well.
I think this is kind of like... I'm trying to think about what berry I want to run, and I'm like, I don't want to run any of the berries because they're all better on other Pokemon. I think
one thing to check is
something
where
like
are the
this.
good Intimidators right now, and how do they match up with Wigglytuff? Because
Arcanine,
a good bit of the time you
Landorus.
Yeah, a good bit of the time you hit +2 and you just don't even live to get an attack off. So I ran Protect a good amount just because you would die to a double up very easily.
That's okay. I don't care if Wigglytuff dies.
Okay.
If we're in a position where we're worried about them doubling up into Wigglytuff, I'm more than happy to click Helping Hand, which is why I ran that over Protect.
Okay, that's fair.
Because we have one Pokemon that's maybe a bit more passive.
Follow me.
What, sorry?
That sounds good.
We follow me.
If we get our +2, it's like a mini follow me, because they're at least thinking about attacking Wigglytuff. I like that idea.
Yes, no, definitely my thought process is the way that we get the best advantage out of Wigglytuff is having opponents pretend that it's real. That's not what I was trying to click on.
It's a tough scene for Wigglytuff, but that's the cruel truth.
Look, yeah, I just don't know that we benefit from pretending ourselves that Wigglytuff is one of the scariest Pokemon out there. I think maybe just having this...
I tried to pretend that at +2 it got so okay, but +2 with super effective coverage, you can do 90% to 1, but the truth is it's tough.
I mean, this is the test. Urshifu does not have particularly good special defense. We're not careful. Yeah.
Oh, no investment.
So I think we have 68 investment. That's fine.
Yeah, it can have at the very least, with stab, super effective coverage.
Yeah, I mean that's a spread move, which does mitigate some of the value of stab into a Pokemon with 60 special defense, which is more than we have, to be fair. Yeah, and then like so yes, safety goggles. We've got that for like Flare Blitz, Extreme Speed, probably CC on this set if we're using Chien-Pao. If we're using, probably want like an Adamant set that has some bulk to it as well though. We're using E-Speed, so we're not as reliant on our speed investment. Get some like genuine special defense, defense investment. I know that there are some more optimized defensive spreads. I don't remember what the correct defense stat is on Arcanine though. Rilla, I'll say this is a relatively top-heavy team. So where was Arcanine in the draft? 18. Now, it's not as good as Arcanine Hisway, and Arcanine Hisway was significantly cheaper, but you know, it's what it is. If I wasn't playing it round 1, I wouldn't mind. And then Wigglytuff is in 2 points. I think Arcanine's definitely a reasonable one in 18. I mean,
I would not be surprised if that's your not. So your team calls for a fire type intimidator with a specific combination of moves. I
Sure.
think if you're playing this team in a real format, though,
Do we want Miracle
it's gotta be
Seed?
different.
Do we want Miracle Seed or Assault Vest on this set? I think
Miracle Seed, unless there's something we particularly have trouble with. Okay, Assault Vest.
I think Assault Vest because we don't really have. Currently, this is our answer to Heatran. Obviously, we have CC here for the Heatran as well, but
yeah, I can see that being a problem for this team.
I don't think this one tends to run particularly fast, and I think it definitely does tend to run adamant. And then I think we want to juice up the special defense.
Yep, get extra value from the Assault Vest.
Absolutely, especially if we're trying to use a grass type to check Heatran.
Very ambitious of us.
Are we going Sash or Covert Cloak?
I can see Cloak. Sash is good. I don't know. I guess Sash. Sash is just the standard, right?
Sash is very,
Yeah,
very
it's hard to
strong.
say no to Sash if nothing on the team. Sash. It's not like there's too many leads where we're going to leave Chantel plus, or, you know, like where Fake Out is guaranteed to go into Chantel. I like
Yeah.
Cobra Cloak, honestly, when you have like a Ghost type on lead and you know who they're going to Fake Out. Here, there's still a chance they might Fake Out the other Mon.
Yeah, it's true. None of our Pokemon have inner focus either.
Yeah, so we're just as likely to hit the other Mon to Fake Out.
Now, on Goth, Fake Out is definitely something that seems pretty obvious. Psychic to cover one of the Urshifu's. Do we go with Trick Room? I guess we don't have a lot of speed investment on either of these pokes, and Corv isn't a particularly fast Pokemon either, so we could consider Trick Room.
Yeah. I think Heal Pulse is good on the Parasong teams too, depending on how much you want to.
Sorry, I forgot to say, we won't Protect if we're using Parasong, so Heal Pulse or Trick Room, I guess, is the question, and you're thinking Heal Pulse?
We can see after we do the Corviknight spread, I guess.
I don't think the Corviknight set is going to change that much.
Okay.
So obviously we want max HP because it's not got a lot of HP. We want to juice up the defense a little. I think we want to juice up the defense a lot actually, because Wigglytuff we have a more specially defensive spread on, right?
Yeah. And also the Rillaboom is more especially defensive.
Yeah. And then are we looking at minus speed? We don't have Trick Room, so I think the answer is no. Maybe we pull this back a little just to give us the advantage in some speed tie sort of situations.
Yeah, not opposed.
And now we have Corv.
Do you have an idea for this?
And then the last move is kind of like whatever you want.
Is it just a second anti-intimidate mon or what?
No, I like the offensive pressure, but I wanted a secondary fairy resist. Also held it. This is meant to be like a half a Shifu check, half
Flutter main check or what?
yeah, half a Shifu, half Flutter Mane. So we could definitely run Iron Head with that thought. And also it's a Taunt resist because we don't have any other flying resists on this team.
Yeah.
So currently, in terms of like meta threats,
we're
using Rilla to check Iron Hands predominantly. We have Arcanine here as the as a Flutter check, though not the most consistent because of the spread that we have. Sorry, because we're like a more offensive variant. We're using Rilla to check Lando unless it is Terra Flying, which Corviknight's quite good into. in terms of Flutter main, we have Corv and Arcanine as soft checks. We have Rilla as half a check to Urshifu, and then Corv as like that secondary check to Urshifu. Corv is also taking Goldango's hits, probably the best on our team, though we do also have the Assault Vest on Rillaboom, which should do something. I just realized we didn't Terra Ice this yet. Or maybe it's Terra Fighting in this matchup, because we're worried about Heatran. And then this Terra should probably be like Ghost or something.
Yeah.
I think it might be Iron Head, just because we're scared of Corv, right?
Yeah, like good.
As much as I would like Body Press for opposing Qianpao, I think it is Iron Head.
What's your Iron Head? How much does Iron Head do, especially if we have our own Qianpao wouldn't affect them too. What's your Iron Head is a good chunk.
Yeah, just don't think it's as likely to be a one-hit KO. So Body Press there doing an absurd amount of damage. And then Iron Head doing 60 odd.
Yeah, well they're Sash most of the time. Maybe we'll get some chip, maybe we won't.
For sure. And then I do think we want a little bit of speed, because we are running this with the Qianpao and the potential of clicking Tailwind to support. I think this team is pretty reasonable.
Besides the Wigglytuff. So what's our reasoning behind?
Sorry.
Do we have matchup? Gonna bring Wigglytuff?
Do we have? Well, I mean, we've got the Parasong strat, right?
Yeah. So is it like a kind of team that we're gonna see in team preview and think, man, we need to bring Wigglytuff this time?
We will hopefully see something.
Okay.
I think it's maybe a bit concerning that I talked through all of the threats that we checked and none of them Wiggly checked. But I think that's kind of the problem with Wiggly not resisting anything except for Dark. Let's accept the open team sheets. Let them see. Okay, they're Booster Flutter, they are Mental Herb Torn, they are Rapid Strike, they're Goggles on Urshifu with Terra Poison, but no Poison move. They're Sash on Qianpao, they are Assault Vest Iron Hands. We don't. This is kind of the matchup where we would have not minded Trick Room on Goth.
Yeah.
So I think that we lead Arcanine Rilla with Qianpao and Corv in the back.
Bring the good ones. I like that strategy. First time I start using a new team, I almost always do that.
I mean, Goth is also quite good, but yeah. So I'll take game 1 and you can take game 2.
Okay, that works for me.
Yeah, definitely this Scarf Terra Flying Lando is a bit scary, and I'm not sure that Wigglytuff is our best answer to it.
Yeah.
Don't put timer on when you haven't clicked your move, bro. That's just like disrespectful.
Yeah, it's kind of the thing. I try and think of Wigglytuff as the Intimidate counter, and then you go up against Intimidate, and...
Well, the one Intimidate Pokemon that we're going up against is Landorus, supported by Qianpao and Tornadus.
Yeah, there's not many teams in the meta where you're going to say, even though +2 Wigglytuff is going to put in work as good.
Maybe it feels better into one of the Tauruses?
Possible. Are they around very much now?
Okay, Urshifu, Tornadus, and the Torn was Terra Ghost, yeah? Okay.
Right.
I mean, I personally think that we go for the fake out into Urshifu and then just Flare Blitz the Torn. Does that track with you?
No, I'm not opposed to that, yeah.
Sorry, was that a yes?
I like that idea.
Okay.
Yeah. I think so. What's that Terra Poison that we were...
They went straight for the Bleak Wind. Okay. They missed Arcanine. That's a good start. So I just want to E-Speed this Torn. And then probably switch Rilla into Corviknight.
Yeah.
The Torn doesn't have Protect, which is cool. The Arcanine might get KO'd here. Okay, they made a pretty good switch themselves. Did take 18. The Arcanine did get KO'd there. Do we go Chien-Pao now? They were goggles on their... Or did we just go
I don't know
Rillaboom?
which one can put in more work here. I think it might be Boom. I think it might have to be Rillo right now.
Yeah. Because they have their own
I think
fake out, which
Chien-Pao
is
just protecting it.
a bit of a challenge. We also probably should have picked a different Terra on Corf that had some more defensive utility. I mean, I just want to fake out Iron Hands and, what's it called? Brave Bird into, a Shifu. Does that make sense to you?
Yeah, is there any value to the Tailwind here, or is it this Brave Bird?
I don't think Tailwind
one
makes that much
extra
sense. Like, it covers Rilla, sorry, it covers, like, the Rilla-Urshifu matchup, but we kind of expect Rilla to get KO'd here.
Okay, I'm not sure if there's a booster flutter. I haven't played too much of this. We can go for the bridge.
I mean, I think that we're kind of relying on our defensive check to boost a Flutter anyways, because they still have Torn.
Okay.
Well, that does a lot of damage.
It did as much damage to itself as it did to you, but we needed that Corviknight around.
So I think I would hammer the Iron Hands and Roost with Corv. They had... I think I Terra Roost to make us resist CC.
Okay.
And we hope this Woodhammer somehow KOs, which it most certainly does not. Okay, apparently that would not have KO'd anyways, which is... Oh, because it's intimidated. I'm surprised they didn't focus the Rilla down, but let's see if this Drain Punch...
Yeah, I don't...
Okay.
I was surprised that they went for...
I think we lose, because we no longer resist Bleak Windstorm. I mean, I wasn't surprised I called it specifically, but that doesn't mean it was a good play. They are Ice Spinner, which... Ice Spinner is a contact move, right? I know Icicle Crash isn't. Ice Spinner is contact. So at the very worst, they're taking Helmet. I kind of want to switch... I kind of want to switch Rilla out into Chien-Pao. Or do we just double attack here? Saying you can only get one of KOs into one of our Pokemon.
Yeah, so I think... Is non-sacred sword Chien-Pao a thing or not?
We know what that set is.
Is there a world where...
I think we U-turn Chien-Pao and we Brave Bird Iron Hands.
Okay.
Okay, so that's kind of an outcome that we expected. But now we're in a position where we have our Chien-Pao here, but they have Torn, which is not good.
They have not. Oh, they have Terror. Yeah.
Yeah, do we sucker the Torn? Here's where I would like an answer.
Yeah, I wouldn't. I don't know. It's a 50-50.
So we either Sacred Sword the Chien-Pao or we sucker the Torn, right?
Yeah, I may be trying to read too far into this. If I were them, I'm trying to Tailwind or something like that. Because they know that we have Sucker.
Yeah,
I think they're going to Tailwind plus attack.
Yeah, we're also faster than Tornadus. So...
Yeah.
Do we go for Tailwind then on Corv, or do we Brave Bird the Torn?
I think Brave Bird.
Okay, so Sucker would have been the play.
Sucker would have been the play.
I just remembered that we should have definitely roosted.
Oh, bad man.
Do we die to recoil? Okay. Well, you know, at least we brought it down to last mon. Maybe they go for Sucker.
Maybe they do. It was an honorable attempt. And we're going to get them with the Rocky Helmet, too.
I definitely think Sucker was a good play, because it was the only way they were getting through our Sash, right?
Yeah, I wasn't thinking about the Sash. I'm not gonna lie, I'm gonna have trouble if they put Timer on me. It's been a while since I played on Natter.
Dude, I think Timer... People who run Timer and Draft are just... You know, I don't enjoy playing against them. And then, like, you know, I think there's been, like... There was, like, one game where I took quite a while, because it was my first Draft game in genuinely ages, as well as my first game I was recording for YouTube. People were like, oh, I've got to put Timer against them. And, like... Never at any point. So you'll be taking this game. I think this is a pretty reasonable Wiggly Goth one. Maybe we lead Goth Arcanine with Rilla and Wiggly in the back, or maybe Corv and Wiggly.
Yeah, I'm kind of looking between Corv and Rillaboom. I kind of like Corv more.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I do like Core more.
Okay.
Unless we think that they're going to be EQ with it. This doesn't look like a. This could be an EQ Landorus, right? In which case, we really appreciate the grass experience.
I mean, we also appreciate having a flying type.
Yeah. Yeah. Especially for dark. Could lead to problems because we can't protect in front of it if we're trying to Parasong stall it out.
Yes, though we do have the Dazzling Gleam. And Fake
Yeah,
Out.
as long as we don't get you. Because we were saying Goth Arc, right?
Yeah, Goth Arc lead with Wigglytuff and then either Willow or Corv in the back.
I'm gonna go with the Corv.
Okay.
Yeah, I like that. Okay.
Okay. Interesting lead from their end. Do we just Fake Out and Flare Blitz into Arcanine?
Flare Blitz in the bulk.
No, Flare Blitz. Sorry. Do we double the Iron Hands with Fake Out and Flare Blitz?
Yeah, I think there's gonna be a fake out into the Arcanine slot. So
well, we want to fake out the. We want to fake it out with Goth so that it can't fake out, and then we want to Flare Blitz
yeah,
it so
I think there's gonna
dies.
be a fake out there. So I was saying I was thinking about either a protect or a fake out of my own.
I definitely think we fake out the Iron Hands, regardless of what
Yeah.
play we make with Arcanine, because they may not be able to fit Bug Buzz and Volcarona. It's got a lot of reasonable
Is it
moves.
mostly offensive Volcarona or is the poor Volcarona thing?
It really depends, but gosh, that does not do a lot of damage.
Oh, we're safety goggles. Forgot about that.
Yes. Sorry.
Well, it's a pretty free turn for us. That makes sense for me. That makes sense though. Okay. Did not do a lot, but we didn't take much that turn either.
They didn't go for Fake Out. I think they might be Belly Drum.
In which case, we still gotta focus it down, right?
Yeah, we kind of expect them to be Struggle Bomb on Volcarona. I kind of want to Flare Blitz the Iron Hands and switch in Wigglytuff.
For Struggle Bug?
Yeah. Get the competitive boost.
Yeah. Well, the other option here, I think, would just be Psychic and the Iron Hands, possibly get it redirected, right?
We do kind of expect it to get redirected, and I'm not sure that we value that tiny bit of chip.
Yeah. I'm gonna try it, see if we get the Struggle Bug off. No redirection,
Where was the
like
burn?
Struggle Bug.
Alright, I called it. Let's see what the Iron Hands goes for. Drain Punch. And do we crit? There's no way that KO without crit. There's no way that KO without crit.
Yeah, that looked like a lot of damage. Well, I guess we're gonna try and see what this Dazzling Gleam with +1 special attack can get off.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely think we go Goth.
Yeah. Can we roll option here?
Yeah, there's just no way that KO without crit. Like, I think even if they were at neutral, that wouldn't KO without crit.
I don't know what this Volcarona might be switching out here. Alright.
Yeah, so will we definitely Fake Out the Iron Hands and D-Gleam?
Yeah, I'm just trying to think about if that Volcarona is going out anywhere.
I don't think I care what it goes out into if we go for the Fake Out D-Gleam plan.
Yeah. There's nothing more valuable to Ice Beam. It's not going anywhere, apparently.
Okay.
No,
Unsurprisingly, the Iron Hands is faster.
Yeah.
Do we ever switch Goth into Corv? No, they're going to click Electric Move into us.
Much. Yeah.
Do we protect Goth and go for Dazzling Gleam? They can't switch, we have Goth Tail out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's true too. It's either Psychic into the Volk, open damage, or Protect with the Goth.
I think it is Protect with Goth. We could, I mean, if we Psychic,
yeah,
we're targeting Iron Hands probably, but yeah.
Yeah, they're probably not respecting this Wigglytuff.
We'll see if they do.
Okay, nobody respects the Wigglytuff. For good reason though. This one's dead. Beautiful.
Psychic does not look like a KO into Urshifu.
Is Urshifu gonna kill the Wigglytuff?
I don't think so. Not with the berry.
Okay.
So I think we Dazzling Gleam and Teal Pulse the Wigglytuff.
Yeah.
Actually, no. We should Psychic the Urshifu in case it's Sash.
Okay.
Also in case Wigglytuff doesn't KO,
Don't
because
try
if we're
heal
looking
pulse
at plus
and
2
switch
and
into
plus
cold,
2
or do you-
KO'd, and we're only plus 1. What, sorry?
Do we ever heal pulse and switch into cold for the Rocky Helmet and bring core back to full, or do we value this plus 1? I mean, it's pretty free.
We're trying to
pretty
KO the
easy.
Urshifu here, right? So we just go for Psychic and Dazzling Gleam, in my opinion.
Okay. Just trying to see if there's any merit to heal pulse. I'm thinking about things a lot more. I think about things like. Okay, yeah, we have
Broken Berry. Would Helping Hand Psychic...
Say again?
Do you think Helping Hand Psychic picks up Volcarona?
What's that? Plus 14 is.
No, it wouldn't. It
believe
wouldn't. It
not.
wouldn't. So do we hit side heal pulse and switch in Corv now?
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. I think we'd rather have Corvin right now. I don't think this Walker was going for anything too interesting, yeah.
Oh my gosh, that did nothing. Dude, this Wiggly Goth is just absolutely broken. No! Heal pulse into redirection! Why did we play so bad?
Oh, redirection. I thought I misclicked.
No, no, you did
There
not.
was
They just
something
rage
there was
powdered.
something better to do with that. Off the tail. I'm sure there was something better to do with that.
There was it's definitely something better to do with that.
Not anything better to do. Okay. Well, I think
That's
the
really
first
bad.
is going into Goth because it kills itself because of the core. Could just DC core too.
I mean, they don't care anything about what Goth is doing.
Yeah. I might just go for the kill on core.
Yeah, I definitely think we click Psychic with Goth. You can switch Goth into Wigglytuff and then Roost with Corv if you think they are targeting down Goth, though I kind of expect them to click an attack maybe with Volcarona.
Yeah. Tough matchup.
Sure, we'll pretend that's why.
Look, there wasn't a belly drum iron hand if we didn't get off and set up the entire game.
Yeah, we definitely didn't, like, absolutely restrict them greatly and then just not have good follow-up.
I'm gonna see if this core comes this turn. Okay. We have our core back.
Okay, now we can bring
Battle
Goth out.
against core.
Do we think Fake Out KOs the Shifu? I don't think we do.
I do not think so either.
So, do we Fake Out the Corv just in case, Terra Flying 100% of the time, and just roosting it? Or are we going for the Brave Bird?
If we Tailwind, this Corvin outspeeds these two, right?
It may
Is it
do.
worth anything, or-
I mean, look, I'm not
Yeah,
opposed to Tailwind. It also may make Goth faster than their,
Yeah.
It definitely faster. Actually, it's definitely faster than both in Tailwind. So,
Yeah, I
Fake
like
Out...
that.
Fake
We
out
have
the
our free turn, they're
Volcarona.
gonna protect here. Yeah, I think they're gonna protect, so.
Okay, I no longer think that the Volcarona is is Covert Cloak. Despite the fact that I thought it the entire game until now. Maybe it's Goggles. So I think that we just throw Brave Bird and Psychic into the Urshifu.
Yeah, I mean, they could be double protect. I don't know if it's better to just, put the Psychic into the Volk.
I would prefer to Brave Bird the Volk in that situation.
Is Braver gonna Oko the...
Well, we
yeah,
are Terra
I guess
Flying
there's
boosted.
no-
I don't necessarily think it will one-hit KO, but we could double the
Yeah, it's better to-
Volcarona as well. Just say
I
we're
don't
not
think
that
we're gonna
scared of
double protect. I
Urshifu.
Yeah. Oh, I think we're scared. Okay, crit.
I don't know that crit matters
game-
because we are Terra Flying boosted.
This game is possible.
Yeah, that crit likely didn't matter unless they were very physically defensive. Cool. I think we Iron Head and we heal Pulse the Corv.
Yeah. I'm trying to think, is there any world we get like Thunderbolted and we're better off double Psychicking? I
Well,
think
we kind of
Psychic might be
expected to get
better
OHKO'd by us. We could Psychic. Do
Do you think it's gonna get Oko'd? I thought we did the Calc and it was... Oh wait, that was for Chantal, not for Thunderman. Yeah. I'm just gonna Psychic in case it needs that little push. Yeah.
Cool.
Heal Pulse was probably a win.
They were very
Probably
physically
wins, right?
defensive.
That
We
was-
were Terra Flying, so maybe not.
Yeah, I think it was really that turn where we got the roost off and we switched in. I think sacrificing the Wigglytuff was the most important turn in that game, where Corviknight got healthy. Turn
Absolutely.
7.
The fact that they went for the attack there and disrespected the Corviknight was why we won. Especially if they'd come in when we didn't have Tailwind. Would have been a very difficult
Well, they
situation.
were trying to keep Urshifu alive, right? They were trying to ignore the Rocky Helmet Mon.
No, yeah,
Really,
I understand that was their thought process, but I
tried.
think they should have used that as a chance to get a switch into Fluttermane.
Oh, that too, yeah. I honestly, I think you just trade the Urshifu for the Corviknight and you realize that Wigglytuff got the tail of my last 2 Mons is not getting through the rest of the team.
This is a not interesting team to match up against.
Yeah.
Um,
Snow with no abusers that we can see.
It must be the Terra Ice Spinner Urshifu water.
I like Arcanine. I love this game.
I think this is the worst Rillaboom matchup I've ever seen.
Urshifu Dark, man. They have nothing for. They have 2 quad fire.
We don't know which Urshifu it is.
Oh, it was about to in team preview.
Yeah.
This is how much draft I've played, man.
Oh, they agreed to accept open team sheets.
Thought it was,
There we go. Let's see which it's dark.
oh, last game. I thought it was, no, that is dark.
Yes, we can see.
Okay, well this is the best Arcanine matchup. I will say it again.
Sash Fluttermane. If only we were the funny Arcanine. Oh, we are CC. That's cool. Because they are Terra Dark as well, so they won't be able to take less from CC. Dazzling Gleam. I don't know if this is a Champound game. I think this is like a Arcanine Corv lead with Rillaboom and maybe Wigglytuff. No, probably Chienpao in the back. Just like offense.
I like Chienpao in the back. I don't think Wigglytuff is doing too much here.
Yeah. I think it's Arcanine, Corviknight, Rillaboom, Chienpao. Wigglytuff is good if they do try to run Trick Room. Not amazing though.
I think we're okay if they try and. I mean, a good amount of their team is fast, right? Zapdos,
We forgot to make a good Terra on Wigglytuff as well. We put good Terras on 4 of our Pokemon. Yeah, I think it's the Arcanine Corviknight lead with Rilla Chienpao.
Yeah, I like that.
The Fluttermane does not have Electric move, but it is Terra Blast Ground, which we can be concerned about with Arcanine.
Are you playing this game or am I playing this game?
You are.
Okay.
Oh, am I? I don't know.
My bad.
That's
I was waiting to, like, you said Chienpao Rillaboom in the back, right?
Yes.
Yeah, I like that.
I don't think that this is a matchup where we necessarily benefit from the Goth sort of bit. Okay, so we do know that they're Terra Fire on Sizzle.
Yeah.
We kind of expect them to be clicking Trick Room here, right?
Yeah. You're protecting this Trick Room?
Do we ever just...
protecting the Trick Room?
Ah, wait, were they Terra Blast on Sizzle? They were Terra Blast on Sizzle. I mean, we don't expect that to Oko Corv. Do we just want to double the Farigiraf with Flare Blitz and Brave Bird? Or no, Flare Blitz and Iron Head. Definitely Iron Head.
Yeah, I like Iron Head for the first chance.
Okay. They may helping hand Terra Blast Fire. They did not do anything even vaguely similar to that.
Are they clicking Trick Room with the Zapdos on the field?
I don't know.
Well,
they don't know either.
Dazzling Gleam.
Oh, they know that we're Terra Flying on Corv. No. Do we switch Corv into Rilla and Flare Blitz the Fairy again?
Yeah. Do we want the Ferg or do we want the Zapdos?
We switch Corv into Rilla. No, we definitely Flare Blitz the Farigiraf because we can start clicking E-Speed after it's gone.
Yeah, that's true.
And we 2-hit KO the Farigiraf and we have no idea what damage we do to the Zapdos.
Hopefully we don't get hard red with the Hurricane.
I mean, if they Hurricane there, then that's a decision that they made.
They
went for Ancient Power. We knew that they had that.
Yeah, I didn't think they were going to click it though.
I'm gonna switch out. I'm gonna say we switch out Arcanine into Corv and Woodhammer the Farigiraf.
They could Hurricane the Rillaboom slot, right?
Yeah, but we have the Assault Vest. You could Terra Grass Ground if you want to.
Okay. Oh.
But I definitely think we should switch in Corv in the Arcanine slot.
This matchup.
And Woodhammer the or if you want, you can Terra Ground Stomping Tantrum.
I'm going with the...
Actually, I don't think we expect the Terra Ground Stomping Tantrum to KO.
Oh, that did nothing.
No, you're supposed to Terra!
That hurts.
So that was why we were supposed to tear out the Rillaboom.
Yeah, I saw the timer clicking down.
Timer is
I think we're
scary.
making better use of his truck room than he is for the time being. We're going to see a U-turn into Rillaboom. We don't have a Protect there, so...
We've got Fake Out. Neither of their Pokemon
Oh.
have the funny item.
We don't have Fake Out this turn, though. We have Fake Out next turn. Or we have Fake Out last
Oh,
turn.
we just Woodhammered.
Yeah. I think we're going to bring in Arcanine in that slot.
Yeah, I think we roost on Corf.
Yeah.
Or do we double
Try and
switch ever?
stay
No, we
on
never
pace
double
with this game
switch.
a little bit.
We definitely bring Arcanine in.
Yeah.
I think we Terra Grounded, we
too.
were in a much better position.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Roost makes us neutral to Thunderbolt. So hopefully they didn't Heatwave again. Do you think they have the Obama? Nope, they have the Urshifu. They just were looking Trick Room for our benefit. Thank you, I appreciate that, bro.
Okay, so Sucker Punch into this Arcanine's looking pretty likely.
Well, we've got E-Speed.
Yeah, that's true.
We know they're not Helmet.
Do we agree on the Brave Bird and Urshifu? Are they
Personally,
sad?
I do not mind Brave Birding into Urshifu at all.
I like that idea.
I think with E-Speed and Brave Bird, the Urshifu.
Yeah. They do have Sucker, right?
Yeah, it does have
Oh,
Sucker.
there's Scarf.
It's Scarf,
There's
yeah.
Scarf. Yeah, it'd be Scarf Punch into it.
That's why I
Okay.
said they Trick Room for our benefit.
Yeah, I don't know what the Frigger Up was doing in this matchup. They got locked into Sucker Punch, okay.
They were supposed to die
I
there.
would be... Yeah.
So we go Rillaboom, we fake out the Zapdos, and we
It's a shame we can't make better
E-Speed
use
the
of the Sucker
Urshifu
lock.
again.
Urshifu, yeah. I kind of want to E-Speed the Zapdos if we know that it's... This Urshifu
Do we
able to
Flabless the
sucker-
Zapdos?
They can't sucker anything this turn, right? Oh, no. Actually, next turn it's threatening the
Wait, well, like
Rillaboom.
if we E-Speed, okay, yeah, we E-Speed the Zapdos, you're right. We go Rillaboom, we fake out the Zapdos, and we E-Speed the Zapdos.
Yeah, and this Urshifu can do nothing with Sucker Punch besides switch out.
Yeah.
Hopefully Qianpao can clean up some of this game. Scizor's a problem in the late game though.
It probably does KO Arcanine. But we do have Sash on Qianpao as well as Terrifying Sacred Sword.
I would have got that there. We hard red.
What did you? Sorry, did you think we should Flare Blitz the
I was not thinking about it there, but if we could have knocked out that Scizor, it was looking good for Qianpao.
Okay. This is a difficult situation because we don't want to switch out the Arcanine, but we definitely need to switch out the Arcanine. Do we U-turn into Scizor and switch the Arcanine into Qianpao?
Yeah, I think if we switch the Qianpao into the Arcanine slot, that's the most likely for Qianpao to lose.
Yes, but I think we have to U-turn into Scizor as well, and maybe Terra Ground.
Do you think he's living? I was just gonna tear the Qianpao this game.
I want the Rillaboom to reset Fake Out. We only have 1 second. Okay, great, thanks, great. It's like, if you...
Small misplay that turn. I don't think Qianpao's winning the 3v1.
No, I actually think that none of the moves we clicked would have mattered because they Thunderbolted the Arcanine first anyways, so. Do you think Sucker KOs Urshifu through the 4x resist? Because I don't. Apparently it's a roll. I think we just Terra Dark, Ice Spinner the Zapdos, right?
Yeah,
That's very
Zapdos,
terrifying.
Yeah. Pray that they Urshifu the clock into something not useful.
They lived because of
Which
the
is
Terra
not
Electric.
close combat, yeah.
The
Okay,
Ancient Power
well-
win. Okay.
think we got
My
five.
very
I
strong
feel
recommendation to you, if you're playing with timer, is always have your first slot clicked because you can cancel that, and then you only need to click one button.
I realized that I play very slow in draft. I'm not ready for this timer.
Just always have the first slot clicked, because then if the timer runs down, you can click a button and then you're doing something relevant. Also, a big flaw is we should not have had Fake Out in the first slot on Urshifu. It really should have been Woodhammer, because it shouldn't be automatically clicking Fake Out.
Yeah,
I think
we're not going to timers too often. Yeah.
Yeah, same with...
I appreciate it can be a better team for people who go to timer like me now.
yeah,
And
like,
grind, like-
people do run timer in this league, right? and run timer and leagues generally. So Wigglytuff. Wigglytuff is probably sometimes usable. I think it is significantly better if you have Shadow Tag. Or maybe Doug, but I think Doug might be a bit frail. I definitely think, yeah, Gotham Wobbuffet you can get away with. Is Trapinch bulky enough that I think you could get away with it?
There's no way.
No. If Trapinch had 65 HP, probably yes. Because you only needed to take one hit, but you need to take one hit.
If I were to use this team more, I might even... I think the...
Sure, I'm more than happy to pass the pace to you. Genpow did nothing. Which is probably a criticism of how we were using Genpow.
Yeah, I think Genpow has more potential than what we got out of it. I think Arcanine Genpow has potential because...
Oh yeah, I mean Arcanine Genpow is just something that people run as meta in the format, right?
Yeah, I mean Arcanine breaks the steals. I think this was a good team for Genpow. We just didn't get much use out of those games.
Rillaboom's broken except for when you default click into Fake Out. I think we had good moves as our default moves on everything except for... No, not Core Line. Well, maybe you want it to be Roost. But yeah, that was definitely something. We didn't get a good Terra on Core. The Terra Flying wound up being pretty decent, right? Because it gave us that flip into fighting types and it gave us that extra damage out, which was pretty good. Terra Normal on Wigglytuff was definitely not helpful.
Yeah. I don't know if there's many teams. I don't know how prevalent bulky teams are. I don't know if you're going to get a Parasong off in this mode. I would almost be down to just lean further into the...
I mean, you can use it to counter Trick Room, right? If they lead a Trick Room setter and then like an Ursaluna or a Iron Hands or something. Maybe Iron Hands less so because we're not Covert Cloak. But you can just click Parasong and then they're forced to waste one of their turns of Trick Room switching. Or they lose one of their major Trick Room abuses.
Okay, that's true. So you're saying you just bring Wigglytuff, no Goth, and you just wait? Or I
mean, you can still bring Goth against Trick Room because it's got Fake Out, but yeah.
Yeah, okay, that's a potential good matchup. I think of the teams that we saw, we didn't get to really use...
No, but we did get to just sit on the field and click Dazzling Gleam, and if we weren't next to Gothitelle, we would have been clicking Helping Hand and it would have done something, but we're next to Gothitelle, so...
Yeah.
But Helping Hand's fine. Heal Pulsing the Volcarona was not our brightest of plays, but it worked out anyways. Yeah.
Some mistakes in the games I played there.
I think, yes. Definitely my main recommendation in adapting to timer is just always have your first move clicked so that you can snap click. It's better to do a mid move than a terrible move.
Yeah, if you play more...
That said,
you'd be more familiar too. I'm not used to open team sheets and all that.
Yeah, that said, we were not getting a relevant action off with Arcanine, so we definitely should have switched Arcanine. I mean, I don't really... Open team sheets is pretty whatever. But
I'll
like, just timer...
I think.
Timer in general.
Expect the Arcanine, expect the Rillaboom to go down.
Yeah. So, I mean...
with Arcanine and Genpow.
Yeah. I think Arcanine is a phenomenal Pokemon. I do think that this was another, like, one of the tier mistakes, is this Arcanine is as good or better than this Arcanine. The flying resist is so relevant in this format, but this Arcanine's very, very strong.
In Giraffe, you would say too?
What's sorry?
In Giraffe, you would say too. I think Arcanine's like a Gloomon. Arcanine Kanto or whatever. I'm not...
How is having better resists, more stab, and the same ability to Terra worse?
You think better resists? I mean, I think Arcanine...
I mean, you just have more resists, right? It's not like you lose resists.
You gain weaknesses. That's like how typing works, right?
You gain one weakness to fighting.
Ground. It's worse.
You're already weak to ground. Yeah, your water and ground matchups get slightly worse, but...
I think Arcanine does not die. I mean, if you use Kanto, Arcanine, and at least, especially in Draft, when you get hit by a ground move, when you get hit by a water move, you live, unless it's like an Iron Bundle or something.
I mean, there's plenty of Pokemon where you do feel pressure to Terra the Arcanine, right? And the other Arcanine Terras just as easily. But it also comes with that extra resist into fire. It comes with the normal resist, which a lot of teams sometimes struggled and are weak to normal. And that's like a very difficult typing to get a good resist to. And it's also weak to... it also doesn't... it also gives you the flying resist, and that flying resist is super relevant in the current format. All you lose is the steel resist and the grass resist, which are both okay, but I think that that's definitely a trade-off, which makes it an equal Pokemon, not a significantly worse Pokemon.
Yeah, I guess I haven't seen Arcanine Hisui enough to see it.
I mean, it's straight up just better on ladder right now, because flying is such a strong type.
Yeah, I'm not surprised by it being better in a like
Stab Rock's like too.
Yeah, I think Arcanine's a lot better at using Choice Band towards Scarf. I see Arcanine Kanto as
But they don't run that. they just run safety goggles, the same set that Arcanine runs. They do also run Choice Band, but they also run Choice Band on the other Arcanine to click E-Speed. They like, this does nothing that this doesn't also do, which is why they're the same Pokemon. Like,
I guess we'll see this. I guess we'll see this season. I haven't seen enough Arcanine Hisui to argue for or against it.
yeah, so Arcanine, Hisui's most used items are Assault Vest and Safety Goggles.
Yeah, I've seen a lot of Arcanine, and I think
I have to scroll down a lot more to find regular Arcanine. Regular Arcanine's most used bottles are Safety Goggles, Citrus Berry, and Assault Vest.
Yeah.
They run very similar sets. The main difference is, yeah, that obviously you tech Rock Slide on Arcanine, Hisui, and it may lose Snarl, I'm not sure. I don't think it does, because Growlithe, no, but they have different Growliths. I'm not sure if it loses Snarl. No, it doesn't lose Snarl. It uses on ladder. Not much, but somewhat. Yeah, no, I think these Pokemon are basically the same. But I suppose I'll see next week, because next week's the Arcanine Hisui episode, right?
Yeah, I guess so. Intim's also big, and that's something we're not talking about at all, right?
Yeah, they both have Intimidate, and that's why they're good.
I don't know if it's 2 points big. Oh.
They're the same. Okay. You don't know anything about Arcanine H. Okay. Yes, Arcanine H sits on the field, it clicks Intimidate, it switches. 87% Intimidate usage. It loses Justified. It has Intimidate and Flash Fire.
I am not somebody who can speak on the viability of Arcanine Hisui, because I do not know what even its abilities are.
I will say, I have to rush to work. Thank you for hopping on. It's been a ton of fun recording with you. We had a close game, and then we had a win with this team, and you know, I'm pretty happy with it. I do think we probably should have gone for the sucker, but that's like one play that we should have made differently. And then there were a lot of weird plays, but this is also an awkward team to match up into. So yeah, thank you everyone for watching. Goodbye. Now you say goodbye.
Goodbye. Thank you for having me.